Further, Prime Minister of India also highlighted that India will work towards the development of global South nations.
ग्लोबल साउथ के देशों में फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस और डेवलपमेंट फंडिंग के लिए भारत एसडीजी स्टिमुलस लीडर्स ग्रुप में सहयोग दे रहा है। हम ग्लोबल साउथ को सस्ती और प्रभावी जेनेरिक दवाइयां उपलब्ध कराने के लिए काम करेंगे। हम औषधि रेगुलेटर्स के प्रशिक्षण में भी सहयोग करेंगे। कृषि क्षेत्र में नेचुरल फार्मिंग के अपने अनुभव और टेक्नोलॉजी साझा करने में हमें खुशी होगी।
And to get more on the story, we are now joined by DD India's Amritpal Singh from New Delhi. Amrit, the Indian Prime Minister called on the Global South nations to unite to help for each other's cause and also to present a collected united stand at the upcoming UN's Summit of the Future next month. So a very responsible stand being taken here by India?
India is calling for the global south to get, united and put a collective voice so that their concerns, their needs, their aspirations can be addressed in the global governance architecture, which is, which has an outsized role of the developed world. So India is essentially trying to, at this third Voice of Global Summit, and that was the objective of organizing this in the first place, the first, second, and now the third. To put a collective, to put their collective weight, and so that the voice of, as the Prime Minister in his own words said, that the voice of those who were unheard till now can be heard. And when they, as the fact that the Prime Minister proposed is also being discussed at the summit of the future. So, so they can shape the fact, so that the fact there as well in the upcoming conference next month, so that their needs, their aspirations, their concerns can be put at the forefront.
Also, Amrit, tell us more about these two significant announcements made by India at the summit, one towards the Social Impact Fund and the other towards the Global Development Compact.
The Social Impact Fund is essentially to promote DPI in the Global South, one, through experience sharing, and secondly, through the funds. India has pledged $25 million in the beginning. Of course, other countries would also contribute, and so that this fund can be used for, bringing governance to the people who require it the most, and using DPI and sharing amongst the countries. The second is the compact that the Prime Minister talked about. The compact is essentially they are trying to create, one, a framework, second, which has a certain funding. India, for example, has pledged $2.5 million, of when $1 million will be used for training and capacity building. But this goes beyond that. This goes towards strengthening the developmental processes in these countries, addressing the developmental needs of these countries. So I think these two important, announcements that the Prime Minister made today in his opening and closing remarks at the leaders' meeting go towards fast-tracking the developmental process, which is essentially people-driven, people-centric. Tanvi?
Amrit, apart from sharing concerns of food and energy security for the Global South nations in the advent of these global uncertainties, what was said about the technology divide and ways to solve it?
There were multiple issues raised, addressing the pressing problems that the world faces today. As you said, food and energy security, which is a result of the ongoing conflicts in the world. Then he talked about the technology divide, saying that, we need to bridge the technology divide so that the have-nots of society can access technology, can use technology to access the services which they rightfully deserve, or the governments need to deliver it to them. So, and you know how technology is, because it was so driven by the West or the developed world, that slowly technology needs to percolate to the global south for rendering these services. So he spoke about the technology divide. He spoke about, how development needs to be people-centric. One is how trade negotiations need to be more favorable, and therefore the global South needs to come together to address these issues. Apart from the Leaders Summit, throughout the day there are 10 ministerial sessions going on. Say, for example, the health ministers, health for all. Because any global pandemic affects any pandemic has the capacity to become global. So at one point in time, it was COVID, and then we saw the kind of impact it had on world economies, even on countries of whose making it wasn't, or say Mpox. Now it's spreading. So therefore, the idea is to build those linkages and strengthen those linkages to collectively fight what increasingly become issues. Even if they are not of your creation, but global issues.
Thank you, Amrit Pal Singh. Amrit Pal Singh reporting for us from New Delhi.